So this is a video game bench. Get your favorite large language model to play whatever old school 90s MS-DOS game that you want. Now, of course, it has to be a vision language model because we're using screenshots to pass it into the AI for it to determine what to do next. And here we have GPT-4o scoring up against Gemini 2.5 Pro, Gemini 2.0 Flash, and Claude Sonnet. Who do you think is going to make it the farthest? Now, of course, Gemini 2.0 is already out of the game, but taking bets. Let's come back a little bit later and find out. By the way, there's tons of other games. There's Pokemon Red, there's Doom, Doom 1, Doom 2, Quake, Civilization, Warcraft 2, XCOM, Need for Speed, Pokemon Red, tons and tons of various games for these models to practice on. Warcraft 2 is in there. Let's see how they're doing. Ooh, GPT-4o is out. Unfortunately, let's see. Gemini 2.5 Pro is out as well. Claude Sonnet 3.71 is the winner. I really enjoy these sort of benchmarks. I think they provide great sort of data on how well these models function, but also make it a little bit more interesting and a little bit more accessible for more people. So in this video, I want to show you how to install this and run this on your very own computer. It's not that difficult. Also, one very interesting thing about it is it actually runs on Windows. Most of these AI projects, they run on Linux and the Apple sort of ecosystem. If you're on a Windows PC, you're sort of a second-class citizen, but not here. Here, it will work just fine. So without further ado, let's check it out. I am in the process of launching a subreddit called AI Guild, which I thought was a cool name. And I'll post a complete walkthrough of how to install this thing. I'd love for you to join, check it out. Link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. All right, let's install VideoGameBench. So here's the GitHub repository that contains all of the code and instructions on how to install it. This works on Windows, and if you haven't done stuff like this, try to do it. It's not too difficult. This is one of the easier installs out of all the AI projects on GitHub that I've tried. So first of all, they're using something called Conda or Anaconda. Conda is part of Anaconda. Anaconda is an open source ecosystem for AI. It's free. You don't have to sign up or anything like that. You can just download it. So here's what that looks like. You can just hit skip registration. There's Anaconda installer, the full one, and there's Miniconda, just certain subsections of it. So install one of those. Next up, just search for Windows PowerShell. It's going to look something like this. And it has a number of sort of different versions of it you can run depending on which ones you have installed. You have command prompt, which comes by default, and other ones that you may or may not have. But here's our Anaconda PowerShell. Sometimes you have to run it as administrator for certain functionality to exist. Or depending on your install, you might actually have it as a standalone thing called Conda. So if you just search in your kind of program bar there, you might find Conda as a standalone. But it's going to look like something like this. A terminal window, PowerShell, whatever you want to call it. Let's create a directory that we're going to be working in. The command for that is mkdir, make directory. We're going to call it VideoGameBench. So mkdir VideoGameBench, and we're going to change it into a directory cd VideoGameBench, and you can hit tab to autocomplete. So there we go. So we're in that sort of directory. Then we're going to take this URL, and we're going to say git clone, and then paste the URL. And now everything in there is going to get cloned into that directory. Next, we're going to use this, the first line on the installation. So that's going to be Conda create VideoGameBench. So just going to say, are you sure you want to do this? And it's going to install everything. It's going to ask you if you proceed, if you want to proceed. So you'll probably see this prompt. And what that does is it creates an environment that we're going to call VideoGameBench. An environment is basically kind of an isolated place for us to work in where we can install stuff that's not going to mess with the other stuff on our computer. So if we have multiple environments, each with its own project, each with its set of dependencies, they're not going to conflict and interact with each other. So we've created the environment called VideoGameBench, but currently we're still in the sort of the base environment. So we're going to use this. By the way, if this sounds complicated, you're just copy and pasting this text a line at a time into the terminal. So don't get too overwhelmed by this, right? So I'm just taking that second line and pasting it in here. All the stuff that I'm saying about it is just me explaining what it is. But here we're activating the VideoGameBench environment. So as you can see, we changed from base to VideoGameBench. We are now in that environment. Next, we're going to do pip install the requirements.txt file. So just hit enter. So when you do the git clone, it actually creates a directory called VideoGameBench. So you didn't have to actually make one, I just realized. But we're going to do CD and then VideoGameBench. So we're going to open the VideoGameBench directory created. I think I added a step there that was not needed, but we're going to say pip install the requirements. So it's going to go and install every requirement that this project needs that's outlined in the requirements.txt file, which is here on this page. And you can see what that contains. It's got, for example, a Gameboy Emulator, image processing, data validation, all the packages and all the stuff that you need to run this. Also, if you notice, it tells you exactly what versions they all need to have. Now, if you had to do this on your own, this would be a huge pain in the butt. But we're able to just run this one command, and everything in that requirements.txt file gets installed with the right version numbers, whatever. Next, we're going to run this command. This just installs the project, and it's editable. So if you change anything, you're able to just use it right away. You don't have to reinstall it. And then we do this playwright install. So we're going to need that playwright to be able to interact with the browsers, I believe. And that is complete. And we're ready to go. Now, the first thing they suggest you try, or the first thing on the quick start, is the Gameboy Emulator, where you're able to play Pokemon Red. In order to run the Pokemon Red on a Gameboy Emulator, you're going to need the Pokemon Red ROM file, ROM. And as you can see here, so they're saying you have to put the appropriate ROM into the ROMs folder. That ROM file is going to look kind of like this. It's going to be a GB file. So the extension is going to be .gb. And make sure you name it Pokemon_Red. Once you have that file, go to the ROMs folder and then just put that in there. If you don't quite get what a ROM file is, maybe somebody in the comments can enlighten us. I would really appreciate that and maybe explain it better than I can. So my understanding is if you have the game, if you purchase the game, if you own a legal copy of the game, you're able to use these emulators to play the game. So if you purchase the game, you're able to create a copy of it to use in these emulators. But you can probably run a Google search to learn a little bit more about how that whole thing works. But again, maybe somebody in the comments can kind of spell it out for us. But let's continue. So to give you an example, to run python main.py, the game is Pokemon Red. The model is a GPT-4o. Really fast, let's talk about kind of how to run this stuff. And these little things are called arguments. You can pass arguments when you run the command that create different versions of the game, so to speak, or different versions of the software. So let's break it down just a little bit. So first things first, you're going to start all of these by typing python space main.py. So main.py is just the program that was built for us to run this thing. As you can see, it's right there. So it's just like you have your exe files. This is a .py file. It's a Python file. And we're saying to the Python interpreter, the thing that's going to run it, we're going to say, hey, Python interpreter, run this thing. And that thing is, from the VideoGameBench, from their repository that you've copied to your computer. So this was created by, this person and everybody behind this project. And so we're just running it. But if we hit space again, then hit dash twice, then we can run various arguments to pass along to it that will determine how that software is run. So the most basic one is game, and then space, and then you type in the game that you want to play, in this case, Pokemon Red. So you do Pokemon_Red. So this would run it, and the argument here is we're saying run the Pokemon game. Or we can say run Doom 2, or we can run Civilization, or we can run Quake. If you scroll down below, I could have sworn they had a list of all the games and the arguments, but so actually here, if you go into configs, this I believe is all the sort of the names of the games, how you would write them to run it. So for example, age_of_empires would run Age of Empires 1, Doom 2, like these are all of the games, right? Pokemon_Red. Right, you have Warcraft 2, Wolfenstein, so you would have to see them, you would have to write them in like that. Okay, so here are the command line options or arguments, right? So the one that you're probably always going to use is this -- game and then the name of the game. So for example, we can say Doom 2, whatever. For now, let's say Warcraft 2. Okay, so this whole thing will make sure that we're calling Warcraft 2, we're launching Warcraft 2. Next, we're going to also use this model. -- model space and then the model name. By default, they're running GPT-4o. So you can write that, or you don't even have to necessarily write that. I think it just happens by default. And then if you wanted to call a specific LLM, they have a certain sort of notation for how they call it. So the naming convention they're using is called Light LLM, which is very intuitive. So it's usually the provider, like Gemini / and then the name of the model, which is how that sort of provider, like Gemini, this is what they would call it in their system. All right, so for example, this would be Gemini 2.0 Flash. This one right here is Anthropic, the specific model name. Or if you wanted to run Gemini 2.5 Pro, it's that. OpenAI would be OpenAI / and then the name of the model. If you go to the website, you can actually find the full name of that model. So if we find the page that the AI has for example, GPT 4.1, and scroll down, you're going to find the full name of the model that they're using in the API. And that's going to be this thing right here, right? So we just copy that and put it here. So here will be OpenAI / GPT 4.1, et cetera, whatever this is. If this doesn't make sense, you can always use a ChatGPT 4.0, can search the web for you, just throw a couple of these links in there and be like, help me understand this, and it'll walk you through it. But okay, let's delete this stuff for a second. And we have just a few more options that we have to kind of understand. You can pass the API key like this, or on Apple and Linux, it's export OpenAI API, this command here, then equals, and then in quotes, you paste your API key in there. So whatever it is, you paste it in there, and you just run that in here, and that'll sort of set it. On Windows, it's this command. I'll post a link to a Reddit page that's going to have everything explained, all the commands that you're able to just copy and paste and use. So if some of this is confusing, I'll have a separate guide that'll walk you through it. Check it out in the description and probably in the pinned comment as well. All right, so first things first, really fast, let me show you how to run Doom 2. I had trouble running it because you need to make sure that you're running this command with it, -- enable -UI. Otherwise, it crashes. So we're going to paste that in there and go. So it's going to load everything up. And here's our Doom game. It's probably going to be super loud. So it's actually playing the original Doom soundtrack. Now at this point, I'm not going to be touching anything. So as you'll see, it's going to start everything up. It's going to start a new game, and it's going to attempt to do it on the default setting. You know that exercise where you're trying to talk as something's in your earphones? I can hear the sound of the Doom game and try to talk through it. But let me try to show you what's happening here. So unfortunately, I made it a lot more difficult for the AI to do it. But as you can see here on the left, it's passing the images and kind of what's happening within the Doom game to the model that we chose, which is GPT 4.0. And it's thinking about it. So it's saying, okay, our health is at 97%. We have this much ammo, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's moving around. So I kind of led it astray a little bit. So let me get it back to where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be here. Okay, and now I'm not going to touch it anymore. So now it's going to attempt to take care of the enemies. And we gave it a prompt, or part of this project is a prompt that's saying, make sure you take care of all the enemies before continuing. And boom, as you can see, it was able to clear the room, which is actually kind of impressive. It's currently at 61% health, and it's going to continue. And I think it's a little bit confused. I think it still thinks that there's a few enemies there, but it survived. Now, there's another way of running this game where the game is paused every single time that the model is thinking. So right now it's playing it in real time, right? So we're passing the screenshots to the model. It's thinking about what to do next. It tells us what keys to use, and then that gets executed. So right now it's saying, www as in move forward, picking up the clips, etc. But there's another option of running it, what they call it, light, I believe. So basically, while the model is thinking, the game is paused. Then the game is unpaused to execute the commands that the model wants, and then gets paused again. So if you want to try out Doom, do this. Make sure you run that enable UI, because otherwise without it, it kind of just crashes. But that's Doom. To get out of here, get back to this and hit Control-C, and it's going to shut down, clean everything up, and end it. Okay, so that's Doom, and all the first-person shooters, you're going to need that UI. So if you wanted to try Quake, you can do Quake. If you want to do the original Doom, same thing, enable the UI. If you want to try Warcraft 2, we can do that. So here, for example, is Warcraft 2, but let's try a different model. All right, so I went to Google AI Studio, I generated an API key, I copied it, and now I can use that to use the Gemini models to play these games. All right, so here we'll do Python main.py. The game will be Warcraft 2, and the model, we're going to do Gemini 2.5 Pro. Let's see how well it's able to play this. So then you can do --API key and set the API key or put it as an env variable or however you want to do that. But here you can just use this command that they give you. All right, so here's Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness, and it's going to start a new game, new campaign. Again, I'm not touching anything. I think chooses orc campaign by default. All right, and then once it starts, you can actually click continue to skip past it. But here's where it's going to begin thinking about what it's doing. So as you can see here, it is moving the mouse around. This one, it takes a while. I'm not going to lie. It's going to take a little bit to get through all this stuff. But little by little, ideally, it's going to start performing some of these tasks. So it kind of knows that it needs to build a barrack. It knows it needs to harvest trees and lumber and gold and whatever it has to do. And this one has been a little bit hit and miss for me. I still haven't seen it do anything too exciting, but also didn't give it enough time. There's also a headless mode that is available that kind of runs this in the background. And by the way, takes screenshots of what it's doing at certain intervals. And so later you can come back and actually see what the model has been doing. So if you wanted to check that out, that would be in the logs. So I had it playing Doom 2 for a while. And it saves the game screen, all the footage from there, and also the monitor, so what it's been thinking about. So here's, for example, one that I run in light mode, which means that the game is paused while the model is thinking. As you can see here, there's a ton of screenshots that kind of tell you a little bit of a story about how this game played out. So as you can see, it's doing pretty well. But again, here the game is paused while the model is thinking. And you're able to see the monitor of its thoughts, what it's thinking, right here. And if you wanted to run Pokemon Red, you again would put it here, select whatever model you want, or it's going to default to GPT-4o. And again, you got to make sure that the Pokemon_red.gb file is in the ROMs folder, and then we run it. So we're using the OpenAI GPT-4o, the default model. And let's see, it's going to slowly make its way through the initial sequence. I think I have a clip where I did it before where I let it run around a little bit, so I'll maybe play that. So I'll probably just play a little bit of that. But that's how you play Pokemon using your favorite model. All right, so how did that go for you? Were you able to install it? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you had any issues. I'll try to provide some resources and troubleshooting and stuff like that. That is if you, of course, were not able to get it working just by following the instructions. If you already have millions of AI agents running around blasting various monsters in Doom, then congratulations. Well done.